Hello, today we're going to have a look at circles. The equation of a circle is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared. And normally, the first part of the circle question will check your understanding of this. So let's have a look at an exam question. A circle has equation x squared plus y squared minus 10x plus 14y plus 25 equals 0. And we're asked to write the equation of the circle in the form x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals k. So we're being asked to put it into standard form, and the way we're going to do that is by completing the square on the x parts and completing the square on the y parts. I'm going to collect my x and my y parts together, so I'm going to say x squared minus 10x, so you can see I've got my x parts together, and then plus y squared plus 14y, so you can see I have my y parts together, and then I'm going to take my 25 over to the other side to keep it out of the way. Now I'm going to complete the square on just my x parts. So remember, when we complete the square, we halve the number in front of the x, and then we take away that number squared. And now I'm going to do the same on my y sections. So I'm going to halve the number in front of my y and take away that number squared. Then when I take my constants over to the other side of the equation, I am left with x minus 5 squared plus y plus 7 squared equals 49. And that's the end of part A. Hence, for the circle, write down. So it says hence, that tells us we've already done part of the work. The coordinates for centre. Now the centre is the A bit which we're subtracting and the B bit that we're subtracting. So the coordinates for my centre here is going to be the A bit, which is 5, and the B bit, but it's got to be subtracting it. So to get plus 7, I've got to be taking away minus 7. So I can say that my centre is 5 minus 7. Just change the signs inside your brackets. And then B part II asks us to find the radius, and the radius squared gives me the number on the end. So I can have a look at the number on the end, that's 49. So I can say that my radius must have been 7. 1 mark, so I don't need to show any working out. They're expecting us to just be able to do that. C part I, sketch the circle. So we want to include our key information. We want to include our centre, which is 5 minus 7, and the radius, which is 7. So I'm going to put on my centre first. 5 minus 7 is somewhere down here. The key thing to spot here is that the radius, R7, is the same as the y coordinate, which means that this distance here is going to be 7. So my circle is just going to touch my x-axis. So I'm going to get something which looks like this. And then, because for a sketch we want to show where it intersects the axes, we can say that it intersects the axis there at 5, but then I also want to find these points. So I'm going to solve my equation when x equals 0 to find my y-intercepts. So when x equals 0, we get y squared plus 14y plus 25 equals 0. This doesn't factorise, so I can quickly complete the square. I can say y plus 7 squared minus 49 plus 25 equals 0. That gives us y plus 7 squared equals 24. So y plus 7 equals plus or minus the root of 24. So I'm going to end up with y equals minus 7 plus or minus the square root of 24. Now I can put that onto my sketch. I can say here I've got minus 7 minus root 24, and here I've got minus 7 plus the square root of 24. Quite a lot of effort there for 2 marks. When we come to C part II, write down the coordinates of the point C that is furthest away from the x-axis. So here's my x-axis. The question is, where's the furthest away? Well, that's going to be this point down here. So I can say that that is going to be at 5 minus 14. Because I go down 7 to get to my centre, and then I go down another 7, which takes me to minus 14. So write down means that we don't have to show any working out. They're expecting us to just be able to get the answer. And then finally, given that k has the same value as in part A, describe geometrically the transformation which maps the circle with the equation x plus 1 plus y squared equals k. Well, we can change the k to 49 because it says that it's got the same value. How do I map this circle onto this equation? Well, I'm going to have to translate it because I'm adding or subtracting. I want my centre to go from minus 1, 0 to 5, minus 7. So to go from minus 1 up to 5, I'm going across 6. And to go from 0 to minus 7, I've got to take away 7 from my y values. In OCR, we tend to write it as a translation parallel to the x-axis of 6 units and a translation parallel to the y-axis of minus 7 units. The key thing here, the bit which is different from what you've met before, is the completing the square to get the equation into the correct form. After that, it's just drawing pictures and working out what's going on.